Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. Today we are joined by special guest Titus. Titus, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, bro. Appreciate you for having me, bro.
For sure, bro. Everyone watching, you guys know how we like to do this. Just jump straight into it. So, Titus, can you start off by introducing yourself to the audience to kind of explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Titus. I go by the username of I am Titus King. I'm an online fitness coach. I started up in April, and I'm documenting my whole journey as an online fitness coach. That's included self-improvement and self-care and of course physical appearance.
Awesome, bro. So, I guess I want to start off by asking, what kind of got you into self improvement in the first place, and then how did that transition into you wanting to post content about it?
Bro, honestly, at the end of the day, right, because I'm a religious person, right? I'm Catholic. And honestly, I feel like I want to bring value to people. At the end of the day, I want to bring value to people. And I feel like, of course, there's other content, there's other like streamers, YouTubers, that's entertainment, right? But I decided that like what will benefit me the most and grow at the same time is helping others in that same aspect where they could benefit off of me. While I'm learning, I'm also helping them learn as well, right? So I'm growing, they're growing. And I feel like, just bringing value to the table is very important in this generation of time and every single like every day, bro. You know what I'm saying? So just bring
Yeah,
out
I get
value.
that because there's a lot of content out there that people just like consume to like enjoy and have a good time. But then it's kind of like what you're saying, where if you're like constantly leveling yourself up and then you're also share that with other people, you inspire others to do more, and they're not just like only entertained by your content, they're actually taking value from it and applying it to their own life.
Exactly. And that's literally what I want to do, bring the value to the table. And what made me start though is that I had a rough past. Of course, everybody has a rough past. Everybody went through, the herd, came back gold, or still on their journey, right? But I feel like that, I went through a lot too at the same time, and it's like I know there's other people in that position, right, that went through things that I went through, or like is feeling at the same time, and it's like, you know what? If I helped myself, if I use that fuel that I had and put it into a positive energy, right? I could help people do that too, but and not do it negatively, right? Which like whatever they're going through, I could help them. They could take that advice. They don't have to, but they could take it because it's there, right? And a lot of people, who is going through it, they would take that advice. You know what I'm saying? They would listen to it, right? It's all about listening, but you don't have to take it. But it depends on how you take it, of course.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like also people that are in a tough spot, they're kind of looking for answers. And basically
Yeah.
what you are doing is like you're being that answer for them. They just have to find it.
Correct. Exactly. Obviously, I'm not perfect at the end of the day. No one's perfect, but I feel like, just helping out, the boys, helping out the guys, anybody, right? Just helping out anybody. It helps me, and it will help them too, in God's will.
Yeah, for sure. I think like also that's something where people like they don't understand at first is like people look at others on social media and think they have it all
Right.
figured out or that they don't make mistakes. But the whole point, I think, why certain people like garner a big audience is because they're relatable, because you could see yourself in them and you could see that, yeah, maybe this person isn't perfect. They make mistakes just like me. But the difference is they're trying to be better, you know?
Yeah, literally, exactly that. That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
So what made you get onto social media? Oh, sorry, you kind of
Well,
explained that, but like
yeah.
what was like I guess the when you started and like you started seeing the growth, how did that feel?
Honestly, okay, so I would like to recap, go back in the past a little bit. Yeah, so honestly, it wasn't value that I was bringing to the table, right? I was in the content creation for about some time, like 3 years, right? 3 years back in 2000 and um right now we're in 2025, so like around 2021, 2020, around that time of era, I was actually posting. I was actually posting like thirst traps, right? I was posting thirst traps, because it was like TikTok, right? It was lip syncing, so of course I had to hop on it, and then I was doing some thirst trapping then, and then I got into interviews at the same time, right? I got into interviews, and I was just interviewing people, asking them questions, right? Like about the society of today, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I knew that that wasn't really like it wasn't really sparking me, you know what I'm saying? But I knew that I wanted to pursue the online, right? The online media. I want to pursue social media for sure, right? And I was like, you know what, this is not really gonna work out at the end of the day, and I don't feel happy in doing this. You know, I know it could make me, like a pathway and all that, but it wasn't gonna make me happy because I wasn't being genuine. I wasn't showing the media who I am, knowing that I'm better than that, right? So I was doing that for some time, and then I obviously clicked in my brain that's like, you know what? If I actually want to pursue social media, I need to be authentic. I need to be real, right? And I took a couple niches, what I'm good at, right, which is self-care, right? Looks maxing in a way, look good, and then physique, right? I was going to the gym a lot, so I took care of myself. So I'm like, okay, that's my niche is gym, self-care, right? So I took that niche and I made it into content. So then I pursued that. I pursued that in actual April, because I was at rock bottom before April, right? And for like a whole year or two, I was at rock bottom. I was going through a lot. And then within that journey of time, I was self-improving myself better. I was locked in with the gym. I was locked in with myself. I was benefiting myself. I was reading, I was writing, journaling. So of course I was self-improving myself at the same time when I was working on my niches, which was the gym and self-care. So I combined all those things into one and then pursued that in April. In April, I just went crazy. And seeing that progress until today, which is Thursday, October 9th, right from April, end of April to Thursday, October 9th. That whole timeline, it was consistent progressiveness, right? I was posting daily, I was posting nonstop, and within that time frame, I seen a lot of engagement from other people. I seen a lot of engagement, views, interactions. So everything was falling in plan just because I worked hard to it. Like just because I worked hard for it, right? I was keep posting and all that. So just seeing that and then people come to me asking for help, people liking it, people saying that, yo, I you inspired me because of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at your videos and bro, you inspired me, right? How did you do this? Help me with this. So I'm like, this is initially what I wanted. I wanted to give people some value, which I did, right? I give people some value when it comes to self-care, when it comes to talking about motivation, self-improving, and of course, the gym, right? So the gym, it just shows that like, you're just focused on yourself, which I am, and just like giving that off to other people, showing progress, it really sparks something in their brain. Obviously, I'm gonna keep doing this for sure, and hopefully see how further I get with this even more, and bring more value to the table.
I want to ask you, so you said you went through like a year of like hard times. How important would you say to maybe someone listening that is going through that period of time in their life? How important would you say it is to still focus on your self improvement, still focus on the things that matter to you? Because that probably helped you get through it, no?
Yes, 100%. Honestly, what really helped me the most is I got how do I explain this? Okay, so if you are going through something, it doesn't matter whatever you're going through, but whatever you're going through, right? You gotta understand that you got to take it in and you gotta accept it. You gotta accept whatever happened because you can't change anything in the past. But moving forward, you gotta think to yourself, why did this happen? Right? You gotta think to yourself, why did this happen? These happened for a reason, right? The world plays a tricky game, and if you believe in God, God plays a game to you. He tries to tell you something, and don't get me wrong, everything happens for a reason. So he makes you, because I believe in God, he makes you see a clear vision of what you did. He digs a hole deeper for you to actually see what you were doing wrong, and the lessons. It turns out to lessons. So you gotta really, and that builds you into a man. That builds you into the character, right? Those lessons, whatever you went through, right? Those are lessons to you, right? So I say that take it in, accept it, and use that fuel that you have, use that hopeless feeling or whatever you are feeling, and do better with that, right? That is a mature feeling. That is a mature feeling. Is knowing what you did, and you are not putting that fuel into negativity, but you're putting it into the things that you need to be doing. You know what I mean? You're putting into the things that you need to be doing to elevate yourself. So I say what really helped me was taking it in, right? Understanding, being like isolating myself in a way where it's like I'm separating from everything, from all the noise. I'm really clearing my head at the end of the day and getting closer to God. I'm walking by faith in everything that I do, right? I bring God to the table, but you really have to walk by faith if you are going to, you know, like do this at the same time, right? And all you gotta do, like I would say, is you gotta believe. You gotta believe in yourself and you gotta believe in God. It doesn't matter what your religion is, but you got to pray. Praying really helps. If you pray, right, you're gonna how do I say? Once you pray, your answers will come for sure, right? So just pray
Exactly.
and keep pushing forward at the same time, and stay close with your family, and you have that subconscious feeling in your gut too at the same time that you know what's right from wrong, right? So you gotta just pursue the things that is right instead of you know the devil talking to you.
I like what you're saying there. I think people don't understand how important it is to self-reflect, to like go through a situation, if it's positive or negative, and look at why it had that certain outcome. And if it's something positive, try to repeat it. If it's something negative, try to avoid it in the future, right? Because people will make a mistake and make the mistake again over and over, and they can't seem to understand why it keeps happening. And it's because they don't
Exactly.
give their self some time to reflect and isolate themselves, because people might look at like isolation sometimes as a bad thing, but it depends how you use it. If you're using it
Exactly.
like you said because the world around you could be too noisy and you can't really find out what's happening in your life, that's exactly when you should isolate and practice some solitude and find the answers you're looking for. And like you're saying, when you're praying and you're asking God for help, usually, not usually, all the time he's going to answer, right? And you're going to find that solution.
Exactly. Well, that is facts, brother. That is facts, and no, definitely, 100%. You know, yeah, that's that's literally what it is. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, right? Oh, definitely.
For my next question, bro, what do you think is the biggest mindset shift that you can point to that has like made you into the man you are today?
And that's a good one. Honestly, whatever that I went through in the past, right?
Hmm.
It just really it sparked because I dig myself a deep hole, right? I dig myself a deep hole for me to see the things that I should have been doing, right? But I wasn't taking it seriously. I just brushed it off my shoulder, right? Like it was nothing. But I dig myself a deep hole. That's when it comes down to listening, right, to my parents, when it comes down to knowing how to act, being, just like these negative characteristics, right? It really it really I really dig myself a deep hole when it came to those things. And that didn't happen one time, right? It happened like multiple times, right? 5 times, 4 times. It doesn't matter how many times, but a lot of times. And I dig myself a deep hole where it was like I was at rock bottom, and then I dig myself a deeper hole, deeper than rock bottom, for me to open up my eyes and see what I've been missing, right? The things that I should have been doing and that I wasn't taking seriously, right? So that feeling of loss, it really just sparked something in me where it's like, you know, I need a change, right? I need to change everything. I need to change my habits. I need to change my mindset. I need to change this negative impact that I have, and I need to understand why at the same time I'm the way I am. If I want to carry the self and if I want to carry, you know, these things that I had to my future self. You know what I mean? So it's really about just changing everything for myself so then I could be the man that I wanted to be, like the desire of the man, like to become the man that I want to become, right? But I wasn't going to carry those traits. This is not what I wanted, right? So that really sparked my mind and sparked everything inside of me, like my habits, my actions, the way how I speak, everything, and my attitude towards everything. It really changed and flipped the switch where it's like, I definitely got to improve myself, right? And then
Yeah.
now, yeah, as you were continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like I couldn't agree more. Like I relate to a lot of what you're saying is I think the start of self improvement is realizing that you don't like who you are and wanting to do something about it. Like that was my whole thing too. Like I grew up super skinny. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way people treated me, so I got into the gym. Right. And then
Mm,
I didn't like the way I thought. I used to be a very like negative person. I never thought things were possible and all that shit. And then I had to change that as well. It's like as much as sometimes being making the mistakes in the past or being a certain way, sometimes you look back and you regret it. If you didn't think like that, if you didn't act like that, if you didn't make those mistakes, you wouldn't have went on this journey in the first place. So you almost have to be grateful
exactly.
that you were like that at some point. For my next question, I want to ask you, what do you think is like the number one thing that like holds people back from ever like starting to self improve?
Confidence, bro. I feel like the confidence and a lot of people they don't really believe in themselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't really believe in themselves. They say that they do, but they really don't. And that also comes down to the confidence, right? They have lack of confidence in themselves when it comes to this, starting to run things up, especially on social media at the same time too, right? Which is understandable, but that's basically the biggest thing that holds them back is the disbelief in themselves and the lack of confidence that comes with that disbelief, right?
Yeah. What
What do
would
you
you say
think?
is like how you built like your confidence over time? Like was it just showing up for yourself every single day?
Yes, 100%. 100% is showing up for yourself every single day, right? I like to say a lot of people, I wouldn't say this. You're supposed to whatever you are doing, whatever when it comes to like waking up in the morning, all that, and waking up early in the morning, going to the gym, having a structured routine, right? And then preaching about it, you're walking the talk, right? You're doing whatever you're saying that you're doing, right? And once you actually make that commitment to where you are walking the talk, or you're saying whatever you are doing, then you're at the same time you're showing up for yourself, right? So I think that's literally what it has to come down to, and a lot of people they don't talk.
I agree, bro, because like even like me and my brother have this concept where like some days we'll like be in despair. We're like
Right.
we'll be doing the same thing, we want to show up for ourselves every single day, wake up early, go to the gym, work, all that kind of stuff. And some days you slack a bit, right? And it's funny when you reflect on it, like we were saying before, the importance of reflection. The days I slack and the days I don't show up for myself are the days I feel the worst about myself, or the days that I have the least amount of
Mhm.
confidence. So it's so funny how like confidence is literally built constantly and it's like stacking up. And if you don't do the things you know you're supposed to do, those are the days you have the lowest confidence, right? And you
Yeah.
like you're kind of saying there's someone that exists out there, which is maybe most people, that they have these big dreams, these big goals, and every single day they slack. It's not happening once a week or once a month, it's happening every single day. And then they ask themselves, why do I lack confidence? It's
All
because
right.
what you want and what you're doing doesn't align. And that's what
Yeah.
makes you feel the worst about yourself,
No, exactly. 100%, bro. Exactly what you're saying, the compound effect, you know?
bro.
That's literally not showing up for yourself. That's not really it happens, like things happen like that,
Yeah.
but that's when you need to get back on track, right? That's when you need to get
hmm
back on track. You need to understand it and be like, you know what, like there's someone else out there that is doing the things that I'm doing and I'm missing out at the same time. Like he's going to the gym right now. What am I doing right now? You know what I mean? So this
Yeah.
you gotta think at the same time that's like so like in your mind you gotta be like you gotta have that mindset where it's like, you gotta show up every single day, right? it's at the end of the day, it's you versus yourself, right? A lot of people say that it's you versus you, right? You were the person that you were trying to become. It's you versus your best version of yourself, right? You gotta be the best version of yourself. You gotta you gotta just think about it and be like, you know what? I, I gotta act the way I want to, like how I'm gonna act in the future. Or I gotta show up for this. I gotta do this. I want to be one step ahead. You know what I mean? So that's end of the day, that's what you gotta think about is be one step ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I like that you said that because it's like imagine if every single day, like to someone listening and even to us, because you know that you have days where you slip up. If you ask yourself, like, would the best version of me do this thing? If the answer is no, then you know your answer. You know you shouldn't be doing that, right? It's like if
Right.
someone's dieting and they want to get lean, it's like would the leanest version of myself eat this donut right now when I shouldn't be? It's like no. So then you would tell yourself, okay, then I'm not going to do it. And if you just align your actions with your goals, that's when you feel your best.
The discipline, literally
Hmm.
the discipline.
What has been, bro, the I guess the most fulfilling aspect when it comes to online coaching? Is it just seeing the transformation in people's, the way they look and the way they think?
I feel like that's a good question. That's a really good question. Honestly, I think it's definitely the transformation. It's the transformation at the end of the day. Like I feel like it just seeing them, like seeing how you were before and then how you are now in a couple months, like 3, 4 months, right? Then you see your results, right? That shows the level of like who you really are. Like it shows that you stuck to that, right? You discipline yourself, you change your habits, you took control, right? You took control, right? Not your flesh didn't take control of you, but you
Hmm.
took control over your flesh at the end of the day, right? You actually stuck to it. You wanted that change so bad that you stayed consistent within the 1, 2, 3 months, right? And you are you're constantly self-improving yourself mentally and physically because you wanted it that bad, right? You understand that whatever happened in that past, that like whatever you lost, you open up your eyes and you're like, I'm going to change. I'm going to benefit myself, right? I'm going to benefit myself. I'm going to do everything for myself, and I'm going to become the man that I want to become. So it's mostly like just how you were before. You were immature, right? You were immature. You didn't have the mindset that you have today, and you just benefited yourself the whole entire way, right? When it comes to working out, when it comes to your mental, all that, and it's like it's just the progression, and it's just like it's a beautiful thing, bro. At the end of the day, just seeing someone how they were before, and then how they are now, right? The way how they're talking, the way how they're walking, right? It's just like
Yeah.
they built themselves different, bro, and it's crazy,
Hmm.
or just to see that. So obviously, that is the best part of the that is the fulfillment, honestly. Just seeing the how they were before and the outcome after.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro. It's like you're basically helping people realize their potential in a way.
Literally, they're seeing their true potential, right? And
Yeah.
that's insane. Literally,
When it comes to social media, I guess like since you've seen some great success in the past couple months, what advice would you give to someone that's maybe listening right now that kind of wants to do something similar to what you're doing?
I would say, honestly, I would start now, bro. Start now. I would say start now. It doesn't matter whenever, but you need to start now. You can start now, self-improving yourself at the same time, and just make it clear to people that you, at the end of the day, you are, like you're still self-improving yourself. You're documenting your journey, and trust me, people will watch you, right? Whatever that you are going through, right? And be authentic to yourself, be real to yourself, right? Use your own story because your own story is people can relate to your own story. You're going to have people look at you just because of your own story and how you overcame whatever you are trying to overcome and if you did overcome it. I'm saying, and self-improvement is, I think that's the self-improvement, that's the best thing out there right now. So you know whatever you're going through, bro, you gotta take that risk. You gotta know how to manage that risk, and you know, people want to hear your story, so just don't stop, stay consistent. And if this is what you really want to do, bring the value to the table so people can hear it, right? And stay consistent. Consistency plays a big part in the social media role, so you gotta stay consistent. And you got this, my bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that advice, bro, because it's almost like what you need to do is simple and people overcomplicate it because, if you post content that's authentic to you and you stay consistent and you love what you're doing, it will be easy. It's when you're saying like before, it's when you're forcing something that is not really
Right.
you. That's when it's difficult and it just doesn't feel right, you know? And I think
Exactly. Yeah.
also like people say like social media is oversaturated, but it's like many like people's content creators are blowing up every single day, that are getting
Yeah.
thousands or millions of views because like people want to see these things, right?
And the thing is, though, the thing is, like, you could just pick up your phone right now, right? You're not a big content creator or nothing, but you could just pick up your phone right now, and that one video could just blow up, and then the next thing you know, right? You're like, you're the trend, right? You're like on top right now. You have so much
Yeah.
eyeballs on you. You know what I mean? And you're not even a content creator, but from that video, you literally just like blew up like crazy, and you could, within a couple, who knows, a couple months, you're like bigger already than another content creator. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's like very life changing and it could happen quick.
exactly, it can happen quick. Literally, it's actually insane. But at the end of the day, though, you just gotta be authentic to yourself. Just be authentic. Be who you are. If you are gonna bring value to the table, make sure you bring value at the table, because the right eyeballs is gonna be on you, right? So that's all I'm saying. You gotta bring value. Just bring value to the table. If you are trying to do this, if you are trying to get into this industry, it's about the value. It's not really about um. Don't look at it for more people, more eyeballs. Trust me, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. But if you stay consistent, of course, keep posting the value, the right people will come, and then you'll blow up with the right people. Honestly,
Yeah, no, I like that concept because if you get too focused on the views and the numbers, then it kind of like messes with your head. But if you just focus on,
exactly,
like you're saying, making good content, providing value to the people watching you, the views and the likes and everything are going to come anyways.
exactly. So yeah, that's really it, bro. That's really it.
So how do you personally go about goal setting for yourself?
Goal setting,
Yeah.
honestly,
Is it something that you focus on or you kind of just do the work and let things happen?
of course we have goals, right? Like, of course we have goals and we set goals. But honestly, like let's just say for an example, right? I set a goal and becoming a bigger um online fitness coach, right? I want to get more eyeballs at the same time, of course. I'll just like influence a lot of people with the value that I'm giving out, right? Let's just say, for an example, I set a goal to make new clients, right? I set a goal, be like, okay, this month, right? Next month, my goal is to get five more clients, five new more clients, right? I'm setting that goal, but I'm putting down the systems in order for me to reach that goal, right? That being said, what will give me those five clients, right? How will I attract those five clients next month? Is it the content that I'm posting? Is it the value that I'm posting, right? There is it do I have to reach their pain points, right? Let's just say it like that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to go with the flow, or you're gonna have to go with the flow. The work will show, of course, but you can't really want that goal to happen, right? You just gotta apply the systems that you know that okay, if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, then eventually I might hit my goal. But I put everything in God's hands, right? So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, then it won't be meant to be, right? So I kind of go with the flow at
Yeah.
the same time. But of course, I put down the systems in order for me to reach a goal. Right? It might not happen, but it will eventually happen just because you're still putting in that work.
Exactly.
If
Like
that
maybe
makes
the time frame of when you wanted to achieve it is a little off, but at the end of the day, if you just keep, once again, goes back to the concept of showing up for yourself, eventually it will happen. It's
exactly,
just you don't know when.
exactly, exactly that. So that's how that's how I do it, to be honest. And a lot of most people they will do it too. So That's how I go about goal setting for myself.
Yeah, that makes total sense, bro. I only have two questions for you left. For the second last one, it is what are you most proud of accomplishing so far in your life?
I am very grateful for everything so far, bro. I'm grateful for everything, but I am very pleased that how I overcame rock bottom, right? I'm still going through, like, I'm still fighting through it, bro. I'm still pushing, right? I'm still pushing. I'm still passing these obstacles in my way. Still, it's a matter of growth. So I'm very happy and I'm proud of myself. I I don't have that same mindset how I had before, right? I don't think about it no more. I don't think about that mindset anymore, right? I let it lie. It's dead to me. It's just like, I think clearly now, right? I'm a very positive person. So I have a positive impact. I have a positive vibe when I'm approaching things, when I'm receiving things at the same time, right? So it's like, I feel like that's the most important thing. And that really, that's a lot of value to myself at the same time, too, is that I overcame the negativity, right? I overcame, like whatever that I went through, I accepted, right? I accepted it. I understand and I let it lie. And I just elevated myself, and I feel like that is the most, like, that's the best accomplishment I have, right, so far throughout my life. And it's just a matter of like using your brain, because your brain, it plays a big part of the role that controls everything. But you took control of that brain, right? You took control of everything with your mind, right? So it's like I figured out a way that it's like I'm in control, right? So just a matter of controlling my thoughts, perspective on things, just a self improvement as well, and that's a big accomplishment when I get to bring that value to the table.
Yeah, bro, 100%. That's very admirable. Like I said, I think the most amazing thing that a person can do is kind of like overcome a situation they're in and like come out on the other side better off, right? And like to anyone listening, we could only hope that we all, do that because it's what it makes you into as a person overall when you overcome
Exactly,
like whatever situation you're in.
exactly. That's that's the best part. That's the
Hmm.
best part. That's like that makes you, like, you feel like that man. You feel the
Yeah,
man. Literally, you're a warrior if you go through that. You took that. That's manpower. You know what I'm saying? So like to quit smoking, to quit whatever you had, you accepted
yeah,
everything, right? And it's just a matter of that power that you have in yourself, right? And just that flip that switch, what you just did, that flip that switch where you want to improve yourself, that tells a lot, bro. That shows a lot, so
for sure. For my last question, bro, it's kind of a deep one, but I ask every single guest that I have on this question, and that is, how do you want to be remembered?
that one is a nice one, bro. Shoot. That was a
Yeah,
nice one. Man, lie. How do you want to be remembered? Honestly, bro, if I'm gonna be totally honest, I want to be remembered as I want to be remembered as a person that, helped change people's lives, bro. Right? Not within, of course, entertainment and all that, but just what the words that I'm saying, what the words that I'm going to be saying or whatever. I want to be remembered as, you know, trying to help others out, whatever in their position they are in right now, and the value that I bring to them when it comes to, just maximizing their looks, maximizing their, like their mental states, their physical appearance. I want to see them happy about themselves, bro. I want to see them happy. I want to see them growing, growing, understanding like the fundamental of walking by faith. Walking by faith, bro. I really preach about that. I really I really tell everybody that because when I'm at the table, when I'm talking to someone, I like to bring God to the table, bro. Right? I always bring him with me, bro. I always carry my Bible with me. I have one in the car. I have one here. So it's like I really just like want to bring it to the table, bro. So I feel like I would like to be remembered. I don't have to be remembered at the end of the day. I know what I did, and God sees that, right? But to the people out there, that watches me, of course, I would like to be remembered as a person that, brought value to them and they took that value. You know what I mean? That sparked
Yeah,
them in their brain. It's like, today I'm a change. Today I'm gonna go to the gym. That's very inspiring of you. Just inspiring others to do better. That's really it, to be honest, bro.
that's amazing, bro. And I think you're already doing that, and the path you are on, you are definitely going to be doing that to a bigger group of people. So this has been an amazing podcast, bro. I appreciate you coming
Yo,
on.
Anthony, bro, appreciate you. Thank you so much for this, bro. Thank you so much for having me.
100%, bro. Is there anything you want to plug before I close it out? And if you could stay a couple minutes after the pod is done recording, that'd be good.
For sure. I hope this was to whoever that is watching this, right? I hope this is also inspiring to you. I hope that you understand what has been said at the same time, and whatever that you are going through, keep pushing, keep using that fuel and doing good, and just better yourself at the end of the day, right? Don't take it out on anybody else, but put it on yourself into doing better, becoming the person that you want to become, right? And trust me, everything will happen, right? And if you walk by faith, you will see it clearly. So keep pushing, keep doing the best in your ability that you can, and change from today, right? Change from today and make that change happen, and keep pursuing that. But yeah, though, Anthony, bro, thank you so much.
For
Thank
sure,
you again.
bro. Very well said. 100%. To anyone that made it this far, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on Spotify. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Crush a coal to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to